Hi everyone, this is Kim with Abundant Life Tarot, and we are doing May favorites. You know I love I love favorites, but anyone who knows me well knows that my favorite times of years, favorite seasons is spring and summer. And we are in the thick of spring, and just in a few short weeks, summer will be here. So I've got my little tank top on, I'm feeling good, I'm sipping on my little Common Cider Company Blood Orange Tangerine Sparkling Hard Cider, mouthful, enjoying the sunshine and y'all's company. So let's sit back and enjoy my favorites video. All right, so let me scooch on in here. First up, let's talk about stones. We're gonna do it backwards this time, or do it in a different order than I normally do. Hold on one second. I have to address my daughter. Ella? What? Are you okay? Yeah. What's going on? Nothing. Okay. I thought you were in distress. Yeah. It's Memorial Day today, by the way. I'm enjoying a day off, and it's quite lovely. I hope, I don't know, this video is probably not going to go up on Memorial Day, I can assure you, but I hope you enjoy your holiday wherever you are. And if it's not a holiday where you are, make it a holiday. So, stones. The first stone I want to discuss is my Lemurian crystal. And I got this at the gym fair this year in Sacramento. And, you know, gym fairs come around like 4 times a year. And I got it, and I'm so thrilled I got this stone. It's just like, it's like how I felt when I met my labradorites, like a match made in heaven. And I think I discussed this at length in one of my crystal series videos. So if you want more information about the properties about it, please check out those videos. Because right now I'm not even going to go there for time's sake. But let's just say that I have been using this when I meditate. I've been keeping it on the table when I do readings. I have been just sometimes sitting with it when I just need comfort. This past month has been a little difficult for me emotionally. One of my dear friends passed away unexpectedly. He was only in his early 40s. And it really ripped my heart. I was already dealing with the transition of my friend who's really sick. She is terminally ill. And that has been difficult for me to watch her go through that, and then her family to bear witness to that as well, her sons. It's just been really a trying emotional time for me. So tomorrow is my dear friend. His funeral is tomorrow. So I'm hoping that going will help give me a little bit of closure and help me to really start that healing process. He was like my work husband at work. He was we started actually tomorrow is, I think, yeah, is it tomorrow? Tomorrow, the 29th of May is my 11th anniversary at the company I work for, and I met him on that date, my friend, and we were fast friends the moment we met. We had music in common. He loved Mary J. Blige, and I did too, and we bonded over that. And he would give massages and hugs, and he was just full of love. And every day, practically, we were talking, if not on the phone, at work. I was a confidant of his, and he was a confidant of mine. And so I consider him my work husband. But truth be told, he was like a work husband to many people. His passing is a huge loss for my work community and for the community at large where we live. And I'm heartbroken that his transition happened so soon and unexpectedly. So this stone, all that to say, this stone has been very comforting for me. I got it like at the early part of May. And when I found out the news of my friend, I came home and held it closed. It's just during readings for clients I've had it. I adore it. So if you can ever get your hands on a Lemurian crystal, Google what that is. Google Lemurian crystals and understand what a Lemurian crystal is. Again, part of my video series, I believe, discusses this stone, but do yourself a favor and Google it, because oftentimes people will say it's a Lemurian crystal, but in fact it's not. It's just a quartz crystal. But there's distinctions between a Lemurian by the ridges. You can kind of see it there. The ridges here, and the point, and the roughness, and the, you know, I love, like, it's like an ocean where it's like stormy down here and clear, you know, up here. It's been very helpful in aiding in this. And even though this is super big, I'm probably going to take it with me to the funeral for extra love and support. Or I may take my rose quartz with me as well, or take that instead. So that has been a huge crystal favorite for me. The other crystal favorite is my Tourmaline. I had to count on this stone because of some just workplace drama like going on, and it's kind of involving me, but not really. And I just wanted to bring peace and healing to the situation and protection against negative energies and vibrations. So I brought it to work, gifted it to others at work as well. I had extra pieces. I love crystals, so I get extras in case I want to give them to people. So, and then I gave it out to the people I felt called to, and I kept it at work for myself. And let me tell you, oh my gosh, it was almost instantaneously. Within that same day, there was a shift in the energy, and everyone, it seemed, yeah, we had our issues. Yeah, we got our big project and big problems and things going on. But at the end of the day, we're going to make it through. And that I really, really feel like that stone has something to do with it. Because literally, it was in that same day that things just started to feel better. I don't know. So that's a favorite of mine as well. Now, let's talk about books. So, I'm going to turn down my music. The first book I want to discuss, that's a really short read, is Sex and Tarot by Toni Allen. I got this, I think, either on Barnes & Nobles or Amazon. I cannot remember. But either way, you know, it's a big online store. I get a lot of these little books like this size, maybe this publisher. I don't even know who the publisher is. Let me see. But I have another keyword book that's this size, similar style. And I like them because they're talented people, talented tarot readers who write these books, and they're like short guides, and I appreciate it being short. I don't have a lot of time right now to pour over massive books. I just don't. I have my business of tarot and crystals and, you know, soon to be wearable crystals. And I have, you know, work, my actual work that I do, my daytime job, and my kids, my husband, my friends, my family, the people I meet, because I like to meet people. Then I'm an introvert at times, so I need introvert time. So there's not a lot of time to read. It's frustrating. So Audible is my friend, and Kindle and little books, they're my friends right now. So this book has been amazing. Quick read. I'm already halfway done. I could read in an hour and a half, but I started reading it a couple of days ago at the start of the Memorial Day holiday weekend. And I had to stop because some good friends were coming into town and hanging out, and I had to spend time with my friends and had to put this on hold. But this is a great book. I have to say, I do readings, love readings a lot. Either I do love readings for people, or life purpose readings, or like work related readings. But love is like primarily the biggest push and focus for the readings that I do. So I always like to get reference guides and read up on interpretations on card meanings. and have different tarot readers' takes on that, and that's what this is. And she breaks it down by the suits first. She says, let's start at basic suits of batons and sex and tarot. And she talks about them with different correlating cards and reversals, and she really breaks it down. It's a fun, easy read. Like I said, I'm going to probably read this tonight before I fall asleep. Finish it even. And if I don't, then I'll finish it tomorrow. It's that short. Sexual values. So, for example, the title of this chapter, Sexual Values, Tarot Suits of Coins and Sex and Tarot. Let's see what the chapter was for. Let's start at the beginning. Let's start at basics. Suit of batons and sex and tarot. So many of us who do love readings, or sex readings, if you will, know about the wands and sex. Then she talks about now the emotions get involved. Tarot suit of cups and sex and tarot. Then she talks about sexual values, tarot suit of coins and sex and tarot. And that's where I am now. And I kind of started reading. I skimmed ahead and read some of the parts, and I do agree with her takes on it. Some of her takes surprised me. I'm not going to try to find it. Maybe at some point in the near future, I will do a video on my love tarot guidebooks. But, you know, my sex and love tarot guidebooks suggestions, and I may find some examples in here of her interpretations that are like, oh, that's spot on to what everyone else is saying about it. And then there might be some unique ones to her. She says, mind games and intellectual pursuits, tarot suits of swords and sex and tarot. I have a feeling I'm going to really like that because, yeah, I know those cerebral kind of guys that I used to try to fool with, and it was just, oh my gosh, can you get out of your head? And can you stop playing the mind games? Thank God I'm not on that merry-go-round anymore. Then she talks about the major cards and sex. Wow, yeah. And she says this is not for, you know, this is for mature audiences. Card combinations and practical examples. She has cards that represent infidelity, that represents jealousy, the dating game, final thoughts. So again, a fun, easy read that you can get on Amazon or Barnes & Nobles, and it's very inexpensive, and I think it's worthwhile if you're doing readings for others in the sexual love arena. The other book that I'm looking at is the Oracle of Echoes guidebook, but it's not just the Oracle of Echoes. What I did is I went to Kinkos or FedEx, Kinkos, and I took all my guidebooks that have PDFs that need to be printed, or you just look online. I printed them and had them in this book. But I loved her cover so much that I just decided to use Anna Turian's cover for her guidebook on my cover, if that makes any sense. So it has the Oracle of Echoes guidebook. It has, let's see, what about? It has Tea with Karen, Tea Cards, Instructions, Design, or the Fantasy Tea, or let's see how I, Fantasy Tea, Reading Cards. And there will be a deck in focus coming soon for that deck. But I have the keywords here. What I like about doing it in this format and having it all in one place is I can lay it flat and have it, you know, to the side if I want to use it. And I'll let my querent or client know, hey, I may also want to consult the guidebook, because sometimes there's keywords that trigger something or spark something in both of us. So we'd be like, oh, yeah. But I first like to look at it intuitively and say that takes precedence over the book. But we were going to look at the book sometimes if I'm called to. But it's nice to have it nice and flat and in one space. Or if I'm doing readings for myself, it's nice to have it nice and flat. you know, primarily that's when I would use the book. It's too, when I'm reading for others, it's too much to try to look at guidebooks. I just can't do it. Even if I tell them in advance, like, oh yeah, I'm gonna look at the guidebook while I'm doing the reading, it doesn't work out that way. I have the White Rabbit Oracle meanings in here. And then finally, I have the Mildred Payne's guide, which is good because I think my dog may have taken off, looking outside, taken off with one of the guides, which makes me really sad. So I'm kind of glad that I printed it when I did. And what's frustrating is one of them cut off. Oh yeah, up here, I think. I'm going to have to write it down. This is 53. Okay. But anyways, that's what other book I've been reading upon, is I've just been kind of studying this in my own spare time and having it all in one place. So I grab this when I'm going to play with these particular oracles that are in here. Keeps it nice and tidy, keeps it handy. That's what I like. Next up, now we can discuss decks. Let's first discuss oracles. So the first up is the Dreamer's Journey. This is the first edition. I know the second edition has, it's the Soul Trees, the Dreamer's Journey, Major Arcana Oracle. I know the second edition has the, wider, bigger cards. Sturdier box. So for those who are getting the second edition that she now has that I think on her Etsy store and also on her own website, Soul Trees website, Allison Williams Yee is the creator, but she goes under Soul Trees as her website and her company. But Soul Trees has bigger cards. I'm going to be honest, I personally like the tarot size that she has for the first edition, but as an oracle, I would understand why people would want a wider size. So I'm not knocking her for making that choice for the second edition, but I'm grateful for that I have the first edition that's the tarot size, because I'm getting very picky about the decks that are coming into my world. And now it's getting to the point that if I feel like it's going to be such a pain to shuffle, I don't know if I really want to deal and fool with it. I just don't. I don't care how special the deck is. I just don't want to fool with it. I'm already a clumsy shuffler. Why am I going to go out and get something that makes it even more difficult? So I don't want to do that. I already have some very large and in charge tarot and oracle decks anyway in my collection. Don't need any more. Don't need any more. But yeah, so this is a Major Arcana Oracle. So she has all of the Major Arcana plus additional cards. And she says this deck is called a Major Arcana Oracle because the first 22 cards are inspired by the Tarot's Major Arcana. And then she has an additional, I think, 22 cards that complement the Major Arcana cards beautifully, I must say. It doesn't have a guidebook because the messages are on the actual card. Some people may not like that. You could even, if you wanted to, I thought about this, and I'm not going to do it because I don't mind that the messages are in there. You could cut the messages if you so fancy. I'm not doing that at all. I like to keep the integrity of the card as most as I can, if I really can. I don't want to do that, but you can. I do have a video that's up already. You can check that out for this deck, or it's a review. I think it's it's not an unboxing. It's probably a review, and it's one of my first YouTube videos. So don't judge too harshly about that. It's probably poor sound quality, etc. But I go in detail for this deck, and I have been using it for my altar, shuffling cards like like maybe once a week or once every 2 weeks, and pulling 3 or 4 cards to sit on my altar. And it's been spot on and very healing and helpful to me. And it would be great in readings for others. I'm thinking about adding to my store just a reading with this deck, because it just provides just some, you know, it is a little predictive because it will predict the upcoming energies you'll be dealing with, but the messages down here provide some guidance for you. It's vulnerability, overwhelm, the wise woman. All right, love that one. Soulmates, which is the Lover's card, and the numbers at the top indicate that these are major arcana cards. So the number 2 is for the High Priestess. But see how it's different from Overwhelm? There's no number here. It's just Overwhelm. That's one of the additional cards, as is Vulnerability and Manifestation and Forgiveness and the Star. And so, like I said, I'm not going to go through all of these cards because I think in my other video I go in more depth for this deck. So check that out, and check out the Etsy store for Soul Trees and get a closer look there too, because it's a gorgeous deck, and you will probably in the future see it from time to time again in my favorites, because I use it for myself all the time. So you wouldn't be surprised to see it there. The other oracle I'm going to mention is my lovely Mildred Payne Secret Pocket Oracle. I've been using this for my astro readings as of late, and I love this deck. I love it, love it, love it. I'm so upset because I've been trying to find this video that it's been predicting about all these like sexual harassment and sexual assault allegations, and I'm upset because it actually acted almost like a tarot. Oh my gosh, my dog has something that my son is going to flip out on. I need to get that. Ella, can you do me a favor and help run Bishop off so we can get Daniel's Nike slipper from him? Come here, please. Sorry, guys. It's kind of an emergency. Can you scare him away and get that shoe? Because that's Daniel's shoe, and Daniel will be upset. Okay, good. Thank you. Thank you. Give that to Daniel. Okay, so the Mildred Payne. I'm not going to go into great lengths with this because I've talked about this deck at length over and over and over again, but I've been using it for readings, for my astro monthly readings for people on YouTube, and I just adore it. It's fun to read with, and it's very predictive, it gives really good, strong readings. I never tire of using it. Ever tire of using it. So I don't know if I have a video for the Mildred Payne. I hope I do, but if I don't, I'm sure you can find it. If you I don't know if there's a way to search my videos and type in Mildred Payne. You'll probably find it in many of my videos. That's it. Then I'm going to talk about the oracle. I'm just going to say for my Dear Heart oracle, I'm not going to show it. I'm not going to pull it out. Love it. I'll probably show it next month because I'm trying to spare you guys, but out of my love for that deck. But it's working nicely of me combining both the first and second editions, even though there's 2 different backings. Okay, fine. Let me just quickly trying to be mindful of time with these videos. It's so hard. It's Memorial Day and I'm relaxing, and then I get to go to my parents' house for a barbecue in a little bit. I'm like, yay, I'm in heaven right now. Heaven. And let's see. So there is the 2 backings. So here's the first edition, and here's the second edition. So combining the 2 decks has been no problem. They're the same size. Yes, I see that it's different backings, but it doesn't matter because the fronts are the same, and I just feel like when I get two of the same cards, that just means that that particular message is amplified even more. Like really we need to focus on different angles. Like if you got two different conflict cards in a reading with this deck, I would say, oh, that could represent internal conflicts and external conflicts, and different conflicts at work and home and blah, blah, blah. You see what I'm saying? So, and it's tarot size. I'm a huge fan of Oracle decks being tarot size. That's the card that jumps. So, loving that. Just had to mention that. I use my Dear Heart very often. Very, very often. Now moving on to tarot. First up, okay, I realized, I was like, actually we can't move to tarot because I have one more favorite and I have to detach. It's super important that I talk about these decks. Super duper duper. Sorry guys. Okay, now I'm just going to show this. This is the Oracle of Echoes. Got this not too long ago, and I did in a boxy video that is, if I haven't already posted it, it will be posted very shortly. You might be seeing that video first and then seeing this video or vice versa, but just forewarning you. This is the lovely backs. Here's the front. And I'm going to show you a few of them. The reason why I'm going to show you is because the tarot deck I'm going to talk to you about in a moment, I think this deck goes nicely with it. Goddess Speaks. I'm not going to show all of them because, like I said, I just did a video on this. Create Space. Spirit Heals. So I got this deck, Symbiosis, and I cannot stop using it. And now I use it for readings for myself, and now I'm starting to use it for readings for others, and it's just beautiful. I look at the guidebook, I'm reading the guidebook, but I'm not consulting it when I'm doing readings for myself and for others. I might consult the guidebook for myself, but not for readings for others. But you don't have to. You can look at the guide word or the keyword, and then you can look at the images and get what you need. So, love this deck so much. I cannot believe I waited so long to get it into my hands. What was I thinking? Everybody talks about it all the time. I have pre-ordered the Bone Stone and Earthflesh deck and by Avalon. And I think this deck is going to go nicely with that particular deck. But now as we move into tarot, let's talk about what deck it does work so nicely with. The Numinous. I am in love with this deck. I have had nothing but awesome, awesome readings with it. It has been such a healing deck for me as I grieve my friend and as I'm dealing with some big transitions in my life in terms of my friendships. And they're going through things that I've never really experienced before. And this deck just came right out and was just helpful and gentle with the messages, but very honest and very like, I'm giving it to you straight, but I'm gentle about it. Okay, friend? Giving it to you straight, but gentle. Here's the backs. I did an unboxing. Happy I did an unboxing because I've been waiting for so long to be able to do it. It has lovely gilded edges. I've shuffled it quite a few times, and it probably in time will wear here. But this is good gilding. This is not the cheap Hay House gilding. Sorry, Hay House. But you know what I'm talking about. Your gilding is a little But this, I've shuffled. Like, I could shuffle Hay House's decks, and within that first or second shuffle, it's already looking like the deck is like, I don't know, 2 years old. This, I've shuffled a gazillion times since I got it, and it's still got that beautiful sheen. I was concerned when Noel said that they were considering having it be a glossier deck with the gold sheen. I was like, oh no, it's gonna not be what I want. But it's one of my best riffle shufflers. That is the Nine of Candles. And it's very diverse. This is the Nurturer, which is the Empress. And it surprisingly goes nicely with the Oracle of Echoes. Imagine that. Actually, the Oracle of Echoes I'm finding is going nicely with mini decks. But the Numinous is a 79 card deck, I believe, and this is the extra Major Arcana card. And it came up in a reading that I did asking about my son, or my sons. I actually have, that's also one of the reasons, other reasons why this month is so hard, is that I had a son who was born at 32 weeks. He lived for 6 weeks and then he passed away, but he had never come home. He only lived in the hospital in an incubator and on tubes, and so he passed away May 19th. And my friend passed away, I want to say it was also the 19th, so it was a really hard day. It was hard. Early that morning when I woke up, it's been 18 years ago that happened with my son. He would have been 18 today, had he survived, but he didn't. And then probably about almost noon, I get a text message telling me that they had just discovered that my friend, they just discovered his body. And all of us have been an emotional wreck ever since. My friends who knew this dear friend of ours. Explorer of Candles. And I don't know why, I just adore this deck so much. I'm so happy that it fulfilled my expectations and then some. Here's the Three of Candles. I mean, let's see. It's just so gorgeous when you're dealing with artwork. Let's see. Just Anna Turian, so gifted. Just so gifted. As is Noel. 10 of Vials, 10 of Cups. Very diverse and universal, so everyone can access it. It's the Judgment card, Awakening, I think. Yes. It's like the Explorer of Bells, which is the Knight of Swords, or Air. Visionary. The World. I'm like looking at the time on my recording. Three of Vials. Eight of Candles or Wands. And the Magician. So that's that. And definitely my favorite. Definitely my favorite tarot deck this month. And then my other favorite, and I'm just going to do some honorable mentions for time's sake. My other favorite is the Triple Goddess. I know I can count. This is my workhorse deck. So when we're on the Facebook groups and they say, oh, what's your working deck? This is one of my most dearest working decks that I have. I know I'm like, I can count on this deck to give me what I need in a reading. It's Los Scarabeo. Here are the backs. A lot of people don't talk much about it, and I'm okay with that because it's mine. Here's Eight of Wands. One of these days I'll do a deck and focus on it and explain to you why I love it so much. This is the Moon card. Here's the Tower, which is a different take on the Tower, but I get it. Here's the Queen of Pentacles, the Sun card, and even though it's very crone-esque, there are men depictions in it, like this Knight of Wands. But then the kings are actually women, and this is the King of Wands. And the Three of Pentacles. Three of Swords. Eight of Swords. Emperor. So, one of these days I'm going to do, here's the Hierophant. I am going to do a deck in focus with this deck, Eight of Cups. So you can know how much I love it. So, and here's the Five of Cups. Love this Five of Cups. Ooh, here's the Two of Cups. There's two full cards in this deck. Here's one of them. Here's the Star card. So I'm not going to keep going because, like I said, at some point, that's what's great about this. Like, I have a good, healthy number of decks. Like, I know there's been a lot of discussion in the community as of late about collecting decks and having too many and what's too many or what have you. And I totally understand it because I really like to contain my collection to 100 or less. And right now, I think once I get on like my decks that have been pre-ordered or backed into my hands, I will probably have about 87 decks. And I'm good with that. Soon, I did identify probably about 5 decks that I could part ways with. And I will either do that in giveaways, maybe trying to trade or sell. I don't have much patience to trade or sell decks online. It's just kind of a pain to me. Or go to a local store, my Books Beers store, Beers Books, I think it is, Beers Books store. They told me that they would definitely be interested in seeing what decks I have to sell, and I would do it that way. But I like the idea of the giveaway, and I like the idea of selling it to them or gifting them, but I do not like the idea of trading or trying to sell online. Not my thing. But yeah, I have about 5 I could part with, but I like that I have decks now that I can do in rotation. And because I have my Excel spreadsheets, it's easy for me to say, oh, I haven't done that, use that deck in a while. I'm going to go and pull those out and use it. And it's a good working number of decks that I have that are near and dear to me. Mostly all of them I love, and I really could justify keeping them. Like, but some of them I'm like, I can't really justify keeping them. So anyways, some honorable mentions is the Delta Enduring. I've used, show you guys this. I use this deck a few times this month. Not a lot, because I was really primarily using the Numinous or the Triple Goddess. Here's the Emperor. Here's Two of Moths, which is 2 of air. I'm not going to go, my battery is about to die on my camera, so I'm not going to be able to go through all of these, but I wanted to do a quick shout out for this deck because I am still using it. Although I don't talk about it much, I love the backs. I don't talk about it much, but I do plan on probably bringing it out to use for my astro readings sometime in the near future, just so I can be able to use all my decks. And the other honorable mention, and then I'm going to get off because I don't want the camera to cut off in mid discussion, is the Everyday Enchantment Tarot by Poppy Payne, and it is a Red Feather published deck, which is a subsidiary of the Schiffer publishing family. So it opens up like that. Gorgeous deck, gorgeous guidebook. Actually a great guidebook. She's a wonderful writer as well as she is a deck creator. These are super large though, and I'm going to start trying to incorporate them into my client readings because I love how large they are, and you could be able to really pick up the images in the photos and in video, but they're really difficult to shuffle with. So what I've been doing with this deck is, for now, to get to know this deck, I've been using them as my altar cards, and pulling 2 cards and having it be messages to me for the week or 2, and then studying the meaning and the guidebook, and just really getting familiar with this deck before I start busting it out for client readings. But I do love it. It is a great deck. It is a fine deck. Glad I got it. But yeah, I am in love with the Numinous. I've had some profound readings with it, and I'm very happy I have it. It's been a great source of comfort for me, and the Triple Goddess has still been my workhorse. So that's that, you guys. I know, as per usual, I was long-winded, but of course I have lots to say about my favorites, and I just want to thank you all so much for watching. Many blessings to you, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye.